go through it. You don't necessarily have to follow me. You can if you want. But it's just like, I think Sharon was saying that if she's ever up at 2 in the morning and can't sleep, then maybe she'll practice on it. And if you get stuck, it'll tell you what to do next. Okay? So what I did first was she logged me into MLS, so I think it probably ends up looking like this. Okay, so what we're going to do first is we're going to go to search and we're going to go to tax. You have to start in the tax tab because ultimately what you're trying to get to is this right here, courthouse retrieval system, thus the letters CRS. Okay, this is all compiled by all the recordings that go through the courthouse, and so that's the data that we use. So basically, even if they're a few months behind, you're just as good as the data that they use. But it is what the best that we have now, and from what I understand, they're updating the Bing Maps, which I'll show you in just a minute. So they're always working to update it and everything, but it's really wonderful program.
It's only for Bexar County?
This one is Bexar County, yes.
Do you know of any others for
Well,
other
here, let's
counties nearby?
see right here, this drop down. So it looks like you can pick your county. And then again, it's going to be as detailed as the information that each county does. I'm going to just show you through Bexar County, but I'm sure if you just follow the similar steps for each county, you'll probably end up with a similar outcome. Okay, so we're going to do Bexar County. And then I put this address and street number in because that's the one that I have on your sample. So just for the sake of not confusing anybody, I could have put my address or any of your addresses. If anybody had a new listing they wanted to try, we could do that. But just to follow the handout, we'll put that in. So I put the address in, and this is, Sharon, when I was talking to you, that if you have to do a CMA on the fly, oh my God, they call me, they want me there in 30 minutes, and I gotta get something. So let's throw the address in. Yes?
I am familiar with this.
Okay.
I use it.
Oh, good.
But I never heard it called CRS, although I know it is the courthouse retrieval system.
Okay, maybe it was something else before.
No, I think it probably was this, but I just never heard it. I guess because I'm focusing on my CRS credentials.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
why I was a little bit confused about it. But I do use this program, and you're right, it is a very good tool to have.
It really is. So we hit search, and then here's our property. Okay, so we're going to click on it. And this is also in earlier years ago, title companies could give you listing packets and give you basically all this information in a nice little handout, and then you could take it with you to your listing appointment. Well then, unfortunately, they now consider that to be a kickback if we try to give you all any information. So we're not allowed to do that anymore, but what I suggest to people is if you have a color printer, literally do what I just did and print out page by page of this presentation, put it in a folder, and it's going to look like you did so much homework for your people. So right now you could print this page because basically it's going to tell you everything. Here's my property address. Here's where it sits on the plat, owner, the type, and as you keep going down, property summary, partial information. Here's your sales history, which just shows, looks like that's the latest sale. Sometimes there'll be 2 or 3 in there based on how far back the data will go. Here's your tax info. And then now here's your history with regards to your filed information. As the title company, what I would say is this is a pointer, but don't just rely that this will be everything out there. If you need to know exactly what liens are against a listing, you might call Melissa or I and say, hey, can you just look up this property? Because this is only going to refer to the lien based on the purchase of the house. But if they have like a tax lien or a child support lien or builder's mechanics lien, that's not going to show here. So you don't want to mistakenly think, oh, I only have to worry about paying this off. You do want to know all the other liens that might be on there. And even though we can't provide you with a listing packet, we could just call you and say, hey, yeah, there's this, and then there's also looks like a tax lien for $25,000 or something. So that way you know if you're upside down before you even walk in, you know, and if it's even, you know, worth the time to sort of go forward with the sale. Okay, and so again, more information about the property. Again, this is not necessarily stuff that you'll have to use, but if you print it out, it looks like you've done all this work for your seller. So that's why I just say, hey, use this as your listing packet. Okay, then the next one is the comparables, and Sharon, this is what I was talking about, so maybe you already know this.
I do.
it already circles your subject property here and finds all the comparables, and it automatically right here defaults to 12 months. So in the last 12 months, these are all the sales, and if you look here, it's telling you that based on this amount per square foot and your square footage of your subject property, they're putting your house at 199,068. Again, that's a generic number. If your people have like super upgrades, or if it's really trashed out, you know, you might have to go up or down based on that. But at least, again, it's a way to be, you know, to be diplomatic with the people. Like if they're like, oh, well, I want to sell my house for, you know, 240 because it's awesome, and I've lived here with all my kids, grew up here, and you know, all this stuff. They have all that emotional value in it. You don't say to them, oh, you're crazy. You know, what you say is, well, let's see what the numbers say. Because the appraisers are going to just go by the numbers. They're not going to have any emotional attachment. So it's really a graceful way of telling people, you know, let's try to be more realistic based on the recent sales and stuff. So there is a way that if you have more time, you can delete some of these. Like yours is, this subject is, the first number is just number of rooms in the house, so you can kind of disregard that. But this one is a 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath. 2704 square feet. So if you want to take the time, you can really pare all these down and take some out that are much smaller, much bigger, and things like that. But you'll notice that when you do that, this number changes so little that you can do that if you want to get it down, but this is a pretty good number as far as just sort of a starting point. The other thing you can do here is you see last 12 months. If you want to go, well, wait a minute, there's low inventory right now. So sellers are getting a little bit more for their house. I want to go last 6 months and see what a truer number is. You can hit that and do update. Well, now you can see in the last 6 months, there's only been 2, but look here, you're still hovering right around that same value you had. So in this case, it's not necessarily appreciated that much. The other thing is you can change your distance. This is 0.75. If we want to, since we only got 2, let's say, wow, I might need a few more. Let me go 1 and 1.25 and see if I get any more. And still I didn't. So basically my point is you can kind of manipulate these to get a different number. The other thing is, the reason why your knowledge as a realtor would be helpful is there are some subdivisions where when you cross a busy road like this side's way lower value than this side. So as you know that, you would know, okay, well, I don't want to pick things on that other side because it's not a true comp. But, so you would have to explain that to your person, because again, your appraiser is going to go and just stay on the side, you know, and this machine doesn't know that. It just goes in it just takes a big circle, and then it's going to throw some of those other ones in there. Okay, so this is how you, when you hit the comp button. So is everybody good on that? The next one is the maps. And the one that I suggest that you use is the Bing Maps. And so this is going to give you an overview of your house. So here's our subject property. And the piece in here that's the best is what's called CRS layers. And so like if you want to see recent sales, you can click on it, on any of these numbers. If you're trying to do labels, this is where you would click, and you can find out exactly each of the property addresses. So they're writing them all in for you. And again, you can get closer in or further out just by manipulating your mouse. Okay, and so again, that now we've got the addresses, property addresses, and it's a toggle. So if you want to turn it back off, you just unclick it. Oh, now it came up again. So here's the one I was telling you guys. It's called last sale price and date. This is the one I was telling you about if you want to get really specific on, maybe you have a really high-end marketing piece, and so you only want to do 30 pieces to like the best people in there. Well, you can see this guy here's a sale was in 10, this one is in 6, this was in 8, 7. So these are all good because they've had a few years in the house. Now I know, like what you said is, hey, if it's just a stamp send it to everybody, then you don't take all this time. But if you see any in here that, let's see if there was, oops, sorry, if there were any from just even last year or this year, you see the date and the price. Does everybody see that? So that way, all of these actually look pretty good. Like you could market to most of these people. But if you saw one that it was January of 14, you might consider about, well, I'm not gonna send them, hey, do you wanna sell your house? Because they just moved in. Also, since you can see what they pay, this looks like a rental, you see is what you can tell with that because it's 1,100. But like this is 152. And so you were seeing that our value was hanging out at around 199, so then there, it looks like there's possibly gonna be some equity in there. This is just little tidbits of information that you can use as you're trying to go forward. So again, that's under your Bing Maps, and then this CRS layer, and we went under labels. And we went down to last sale price and date.
Did you
Okay.
know that was in there? Yeah.
Yeah. And then the other things are if you want to see the listings, so you can see what's for sale in there, how many are sold. So I'd have to probably pull out a little and see. Now here they are. So when I was too close, there was none directly around me, but when I put, these have been sold in the last 12 months. Okay, so that's all under the CRS labels and listings. And then the next thing would be the subdivision info. And this is just gonna, again, something I would print out for your listing packet. It's gonna give you just the general information about the subdivision, how many lots in there, the average year built, you know, basically land and build, here's your base land and building value within there. And then the area information is good for people who are concerned about the schools. Real quickly, I'll show you the demographics. A lot of times this is more for commercial real estate because people want to know how many rooftops are going to be around whatever it is I might be opening in there. But it also, somebody one said, oh, I can use it as a dating tool because they can find out how many females are in there and how much money they make, you know, and they're like, well, whatever, you know, but.
You can find out who
No,
your
Robert.
most likely buyer is by looking at those demographics.
Perfect,
And
perfect.
sometimes where to advertise.
Yeah, that's a good way to think of it as well. So this again is just more information that you can use. And then also if you want to print it out, again, to put in your listing packet, it just looks like you've done all this research for your seller and they really love it.
I like the pie charts also because a lot of people love that colorful pie chart and it shows, you know, how many.
Oh, yeah.
Those are nice.
Yeah.
Those are nice to print off and have in your listing presentations because a lot of people like it's easy for them to understand.
Yeah, that's easier for me to understand. And then the other one is the school. And this is if your people are really, really preoccupied with what are the schools in there. So it's going to go ahead and list all of it, but let's say they only want private schools. Well, you would unclick public and then do search. And so now it's going to tell you, okay, there's only these many private schools in the general area. Now, some people are willing to drive far for private schools, but then they want to know, okay, well, what's the makeup of this Northwestern Hills Christian school? The great thing is you click on it and it takes you to that school's website. So this is all their information that they're putting out there. And again, it's not anything that you have to attest to. You're just saying, let's go to their website and see what they're telling us.
And you can email that too to people.
Right.
So just that one piece.
So I think that's really cool. And then if you go back and you say, okay, no, I want public schools, I don't want private schools, and then you search, then it's going to show you all these. And so then it's up to you guys to know, okay, which school does this actual address feed into, because it's showing you all these are in the area. And so let's just say, well, what's the makeup of Connolly Middle School? And then here you go again. So I think that's a real advantage for you guys as well. And there are some people that are really buyers that are really serious about what the schools are. And so that's right in there. And all of these tabs that we've gone over are under this heading of property search. So Sharon, do you know about the prospecting in here as well? Okay, well then I'm teaching the teacher here. So here's the prospecting part where by you going in here and setting it up under my settings and you put your name, your address, your phone number, your email, it then feeds into all of these form letters. So in case you didn't know, these are all form letters that are already in there for you. And what we suggest that you do, if you want to use one, click on it, make it your own style, like make your own wording, use it as a frame, and then make your own wording. And then when you save it, it saves it in yours, so that anytime you log in, now the market analysis follow-up letter is going to be your letter because it's logged in under your name. And all your stuff will feed into the letter. Let's see if this is hooked up through Word, because I think that's where it comes up in.
Yeah, just
Okay.
hit OK.
Will it open?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, awesome, love it. Okay, so let's do this. So here's your letter, and again, you don't want to use that one because, but you make it your own. And like I said, once you've put your name in there through your settings, all your stuff comes here, your logo here. And then in a minute when I show you how to go get the labels, that's what's going to feed into here. And then of course your name will show here. So it's basically showing you how to make the letters your own, and then you can come in here and use any. And like I said, I'm glad you know about this, Sharon, because there's so many people like, oh my God, I didn't even know that was in there. And it's like, wow. So now we're going to go and decide, get you labels and the addresses to feed into the letters. So you say select a geographic area. And again, for sake of example, I'm going to use this same address. So I'm going to say inner subdivision. And so now it's already pushed Wild Horse over here. If I want to do these two as well, I could just double click it or highlight it and say add, but it's already over here. So now you just click here and say proceed with second step. And this is where you were talking about that you can have absentee owners, owner occupied, or all, And right now, it's telling us that there are 214,000 properties in the area we specified. So if you want to reduce it, you can put in other parameters, any of these here, date of last sale, like, let's say if we want to, let's say we just want to look at the ones that are, say, 175 to 250. And then you always want to go down here and say limit to residential. And if you want, you can change any of these, okay? Like somebody at one time was just wanting lots, so you could just go in here and look for lots and stuff like that. And if you double click on it, it jumps over here, and that's going to add. So now we're going to see what we get whenever we limited it to that sales price. Okay, now we're down to 200, which for some people that's a manageable number. I don't know what you want to do, but everybody sees how we pared it down. And so now these are all the 200, and then of course it's going to be all these pages. So let's say you are going to do 200 mail outs in there. You're going to now say proceed with you're going to keep. And now proceed with your third step. And so now here is what we're going to make the labels look like. So skip records with no zip code, of course, because that's a complete waste. Remove duplicates. These are like defaults here. First name first, owner's address, include fields for Mr. and Mrs. And again, this is how you want to do it personally. Some people don't want any Mr. and Mrs., some people do. So you come through here and you decide how you want. Now, if you have someone else who does your marketing, here's where you would say export files, and then you get it under an Excel spreadsheet that you send off to whoever does your marketing. But if you're going to actually do your labels yourself,
When you do export the files, and let's say you're working with out-of-state or out-of-town clients, will it give, it'll give the client's tax mail address, but will it give the property address of that client's house? So like if they, in that subdivision, there's somebody who's on 123 Main Street, but they live in New York City, so the tax bills goes to New York City, but you wanna try, can you tie those two together?
Right, and it does take a little bit of time because, let me see if this will come up. Because what you wanna do is, when you first do export files, there's all this information that goes all the way
Right.
across. And so it is in there, because what it'll say is, here's his address, and here's the house I'm talking about.
So you just have to delete the columns you don't want from the Excel?
Exactly,
Okay.
exactly. You
All
delete the
right.
columns you don't need, but
Copy
both of
and
those columns are in there.
Okay.
Yeah. So, let's see if hopefully we can get it to come up. Should I just?
Yes.
Yeah, just say yes.
So here they all are, and like, if we just go across. You know, I did click all, didn't I?
Yes, you have them all in there. But with the exports, it's the same thing.
I've never been able to match the
I did it
absentee
for a
owners.
person one time, so I know it's in here somewhere.
Well, if you go back and you just click absentees, it'll probably
That's
come up
probably
with
what it is,
Right.
yeah, because what it was is that we had this address here, which Timber Country obviously is not, I don't think is in this subdivision, so this guy probably doesn't live there. But then there was a column over here that did have the address that he was attached to.
The tax record.
So obviously that's a critical piece. And you're saying that you had never
I've
seen it
never
that
been
way?
successful at linking them.
Cause I know I had set it up, I helped somebody walk through it and I figured it out, but of course now. Let's see what happens if we go back. Let's step back for a minute. Okay, there's our 200. We have to go back one more.
Yeah, you have to go back for the data.
Let's just see absentee
Oh,
owner.
absentees, right.
And
And
now-
in-state, out-state.
Okay, so let's go see now what our count looks like. So now we have 27, which again, depending on what you want to do. So these are our 27, so we're going to keep them. Proceed with third step. And let's look at export. Okay, stump the teacher. I know it's, I just am not able to show it to you, but I know that I have done it. So what I'll do, Sharon, and for you as well, I'm gonna go back to my office and see what it is I did, because I know what happened is I had all this stuff all the way across, and I ended up having to take out peripheral stuff, because they even had, what I don't see on here is they even had like the deed and page number and stuff. They had a column for all that, and I thought, okay, well, we don't need that, we don't need that. But I was able to keep, because see, now we know where to mail it, but we don't know what property we're talking about.
I think if you back it up a little bit, you'll see where it'll say property address on the right-hand side.
Back to gathering our data?
Right.
Okay, so let's.
Well,
You mean on the
Right
letter
there.
or-
which says the second,
Oh, displayed
Displayed.
address, okay, owner's address and property address.
well, see, that's the only thing, is it
Hmm.
doesn't do both, it just does one.
Well, because it's trying to make you a label, you know what I mean? So, but I know what you're saying about how do we ask.
I don't want a label, I want an export.
No, I know,
I know.
but it's, okay, here we go, include. Oh, I am so sorry, I know that there's a way.
Well, when you find, you'll let us know.
Yeah, I'll definitely let you know. I'm just if you don't mind, let me go all the way back just real quickly and see if I can.
When I did my letter, I just called it their property in like Wild Horse.
Okay. Because it won't let me go that way. Let me see, restart. Use subdivision. Okay, yeah, that was as far back as we could go.
Right.
And
Was
we-
it on advanced search? Cause there is an advanced search in there.
on this page?
Mm-hmm. No, it's up at the top. There's operating search, there's advanced one, but I don't know how you get to that.
Okay, I'll find out and let you know,
Yeah.
okay, cause I
Appreciate
know,
it.
I know for sure it can be done. Okay, and so just real quickly, if we were gonna just make the labels, ourselves, you go down to this part, and then you say, how do I want the labels to look? And then, this are very common, Avery labels that they sell at all the Office depots and stuff, so you just, what you're gonna do is you're going to buy your labels, put them in your printer, and then you're gonna say print labels, and it's gonna show you here how it'll look in label format. So like that. Okay. So then that's how you would put your labels through there. They print them out and then you get your kid or whatever to stick them on each postcard. Okay, so that's pretty much the meat and bones of the CRS program. If it's okay, I wanted to just take y'all to our website real quick and let you see just a few of the things that we have in there. We've got a great little calculator in there. And you also can do it as an app on your phone. And save it as an icon and stuff like that. That basically, under tools, and then you're gonna do calculators. And so this is again on the fly, and especially if you load it on your phone, you, let's say you're walking a person through a house and they're looking at it and they're like, oh my gosh, I love this house. What's gonna be my, my PITI? Like, how much would I have to bring to closing, and what would my payment be? And you're like, oh God, call the loan officer. Well, now you don't have to. You're gonna,
There it is. Are you trying to get the app or the
Yeah.
calculator?
I wanted to show them.
Okay. And then it goes. Oh, okay, go down and see Trinity Title. See, click on calculators at .Trinity Title TX, and that's how you download it.
This one?
Right underneath the picture.
Oh, this one.
He's supposed to have it highlighted, but there you go. And that's how you sign up to create it. But if you guys have iPhones and you want us to do it for you real quick, we can, or Androids, whatever. You want me to help you do that while
Happy to
we're
do
going
so.
over the website?
Doesn't recognize me, that's awesome.
You're fired, computer.
Or maybe I am and they just didn't tell me.
No.
No.
I don't even know how to spell my own name. Maybe that's it.
But the website in general is has a lot of tools for realtors to use. It tells what's going on in our office. It's the guy who designed it also developed Donald Trump's website, right?
Yeah.
And so it's very good for you can pull up any of
Yeah, here
marketing
it
tools
is.
we have, and you can download it onto your computer and use it as your pieces. anything we've ever we've ever marketed is going to be on there for you guys to use at your fingertips. You can even email it or e-blast it to people. So we have like great tips on how how to move. You know, we have useful numbers that you can give to your clients. You know, anything that's happening that's new around town, like the rodeo, you'll find the schedule on our website, stuff like that. So it's really great.
So here's how it looks once you pull the calculator up. And so remember, now we're back in the house, so you've got your buyer, and let's say he's just gonna go conventional, but you can see that you can use any of the loan formats, and it's really so user-friendly, it asks you the questions. So it goes, which county is this? And so we're gonna use Bear, but again, we've got all these counties in there. And what they do is they use a multiplier. So I believe the multiplier for Bear County is about 3.1, and and so we're gonna use Bear and then say next.
Oh, okay.
What's the price? So let's just say that they wanna offer 150. Next. Now here you can either enter the percentage down or the down payment. So I guess conventional is what, is it 5% or 5%? So let's just put 5 and it understands it. But if your people wanna say, well, no, I wanna put 25,000 down, then you can do that too. And you would put that in this column. And then what's the interest rate? Is it 5? What is?
It's about 5, yeah.
5, okay, let's just use 5 for sake of example. 30-year loan, but you know, if people are doing, 15, 10-year loans, but we'll go ahead and default at 30. Who pays the title policy? It defaults to seller because, as you know, seller most often does, but every once in a while you can change it, so. And then it puts we want a closing date because it's gonna go ahead and figure out the prorations for you. So let's say that we're gonna close March 14th. And that we are gonna ask the seller to contribute 2,000. And then we'll do compute. So here it is, just that fast. And again, now he'll be able to do it on his phone. So we say that we're offering 150. So you tell him, Mr. Buyer, your down payment's 7,500. So now your loan amount's gonna be 142.5. Here's your PITI. And this is what's really good because a lot of people, like if they go on the internet and they ask for a payment, it just gives them principal and interest. So they're like, oh, 764, wow, I can buy this all day long. But a lot of times it doesn't include the taxes and insurance, meaning the escrow account. And you can see that that's like, what is that, almost like another $450, and it gets us up to $1,200. So this is why the PITI is critical. And if you go and do the FHA one, it's gonna even include PMI, if there's the private mortgage insurance that they have to pay, that's even gonna be built in there as well. So basically you're saying the fixed costs are $54.35, the prepaid's based on the county we're in and the sales price and the insurance, $32.73, so your total closing cost, $87.08. We carry that down here. The down payment of 75 goes here. Then they're gonna subtract out, because we've asked for the 2,000. So Mr. Buyer, if we get everything we want, you have to come to the table with $14,208.39, and your payment's gonna be about $1214.97. And we have all these numbers. The numbers that are feeding it are current numbers. We are always updating it based on what the lenders are telling us and different rules of things like that. So these are really close, and we've even measured them against the old paper ones where you could do it on paper and you had it all filled out. So if you want to email it, you just click on email, you put their name, the property address, and if you want additional emails, you can put, say it's, I don't know, a couple of friends that are buying it together, put your own email in there so that you'll get one, and then you push send. And it goes, well, it didn't take it because I didn't fill anybody in. So,
but it's really great. It's on the go, it's quick, and the guy that helped develop this worked for Apple, so it's, it's stuff that's new and fresh, and it's not stuff that you're gonna be like, oh, I have to enter this in, and it's, it's easy to.
where to go?
I don't know. I would take away that stuff at the top, like the email form thing, and then just use the .com.
This?
No, with the browser, yeah, the browser, like the words.
Oh.
Maybe, I don't know.
I wanna go back is what I'm trying to do.
So as you're entering that,
Okay.
anytime you send stuff, you email it to your
So again,
clients,
it's
it'll
just
have
gonna
your
ask you all the way through. If you wanna go now as the seller, and, you want, okay, and also, just real quickly, if you go into settings, like what he's doing is putting on his phone, again, this is where you put all your information. You can upload your photo, your logo, so that then when that email goes out, all your information is on the email, so they know how to contact you, your logo and everything is in there. So that's how you would put all that under settings.
And it looked like it came from you and not.
Right. If you need to know who we are, you can follow us here. If our rep, either Melissa or my name, if we're your rep, then our information will go there.
Click on my referral page, cause it's kinda on your phone, whenever you click on, well, oh, you have to, if you
Oh, you
didn't
know what, I
pick a
didn't
rep,
enter one.
that's okay. If you forgot to enter a rep, go into settings and you click on enter a new rep, cause it'll say none. Then it shows at the very bottom of your phone a scroll tab, so some people don't see that, cause it's in light gray. And then find it, press it, and done, and it'll get calculated.
That way, if you're looking for us and you don't have our number or whatever, you'll find it real quick. So now here's the one for sellers, and again, it's just as easy. So we'll do conventional again, and it's gonna ask us all the same questions next. The price. Next. Loan balance, let's say it's 100. Next. Broker fee 6, we'll just leave it as the average. Who's paying the title fee? Seller. Closing date, here comes your calendar. Seller contributions. Cute. And now your seller, basically you're telling him, okay, you should be around 35.6 after you sell the house for 150. Here's his closing costs. Here's his balance, prorated taxes, seller contributions. And so this again is when you're doing it on the fly. If you want to get even closer, then that's what Melissa was talking about, using the seller net actually on our website. Let's do this.
Oh, go to you just type in Trinity at the top, Trinity, cause it's at calculators.
Oh, right.
At the browser, type in Trinity Title TX and take away or just take away calculators. Yeah. There you go. There you go.
There we go.
It's thinking.
Oh, okay.
We've been having some internet issues lately. What? It's your fault.
Not my fault.
No, it is. You broke the internet.
Okay, so here we're back to the main page, and this is what Melissa was talking about on helpful documents. If you need any of these to print out, if you want to send like your person a reload packet or whatever, here's relocation guides. So it has all kinds of information about the city, and you can print all those out. About title insurance, realtor resources, this is the part that we set up stuff for you guys. So like at the beginning of the year, we tell everybody, send all your buyers from last year the homestead exemption form, remind them to fill that out. The importance of a final walkthrough, seller's disclosure, checklist of title issues, a moving checklist, simple tips for better home showings, and we're always putting new stuff in here. And if you have something you want us to make, just let us know, and our marketing guy is just a genius, so yeah. And then the useful apps. Here it's gonna show you the closing cost app, the QR code if people are using those, Zillow property app. These are just some ones that we found, like this 100 productivity apps for real estate professionals. If you click on there, it shows you all these things that are in the internet that just give realtors good tools and things like that to use. But what I wanted to show you also on here was how you can do your seller's net sheet and get really detailed right here. So now here it's again gonna ask you everything, so you can put your name prepared by, but then this is when we really wanna get detailed. The closing date. And in this case, it's gonna print all the details for them as well. Like before, you didn't see what all the costs were, so some people are like, oh, I wanna be able to see the cost. So that's what's good about this page, is that this one's gonna have all the cost in there. And also on annual property taxes, if you want, rather than using this multiplier, you can put the actual number. So that's, people like that too. So the payoff, second loan payoff if they have one. Seller contributions, we were using 2,000, 6%. If we wanna say that there's gonna be a survey, well, you know, sometimes that's the buyer's cost. Let's say that they're gonna do, you know, 1,000 on repairs. They're gonna give a home warranty for 400, again, I'm just using random numbers. HOA, we see the resales are usually hanging around 200, so we'll leave that, and if there's a transfer fee, you can put that in as another 75. And other can be just that, other, if there's anything else that you wanna, that you can think of that you wanna add, and then when you calculate, then here it is for you.
It's nice and clean.
And so it's got everything there that we talked about, so now you can see, okay, here's my extra cost, the warranty deed, the release, the copy fee, e-recording fee, repairs, we added this and that. So now his net proceeds are 34.2, and you can either print it, or if you email it, again, when you email it, it's gonna have all your information in there. And so this is, we have a lot of people that just use this all the time, especially like if they get an offer on a listing, they'll throw all the numbers of the offer into here, and then that way they can tell their person, well, so with this offer, you'll get 34.2, and the people were like, oh, I kind of really wanted to get like 36. So you can say, okay, well then let's only give them 1,000 in seller, like it shows you what you can renegotiate to get you closer to what you're trying to get. Okay, and so really that's just kind of a quick overview of our calendar, of our website that we have, you know, about us, all of our offices. Here's a calendar of events, like Melissa was saying. We put this together, like if you want to know when is the CRS luncheon, when is WCR, when is, you know, all the real estate functions going on. Maybe there's the housing forecast or stuff. And so that's that.
Awesome, thank you.
Any questions or?
No, we're good.
Good.
Yeah, there it is. So if you click on one of those, like we're having a truck legal and ethics right now in our office, it'll give you all the information if you click on it. So, and you can also Facebook this stuff. Like he has it set up to where if you click on rodeos, you can put it on your Facebook. I mean, it's really great
Like,
stuff.
yeah, like if you click on here and then you want to put it onto any of your social media stuff, he has a way that you can forward it on.
And if you guys want to go to the Zillow, the P50 deal they're having coming up on, what is it, the 19th?
Yeah,
If you go onto our website and you can get $10 off, right?
it's $5.
$5 off, sorry.
It costs $10,
$10,
so you get 50% off,
It's
basically.
like a promo code. And
But the guy from Zillow is going to be doing the presentation, so it's going to be real interesting, and it's going to be held at the Greater San Antonio Builders Association right over there near Paisanos. So that's a real good one.
When is that?
19th. In the,
I'm gonna click on it. What it is that PT50 is putting it on, the Platinum Top 50. Where is it? Right here. That's an organization in town that every year they award people top 50, blah, blah, blah. Well, all year long, they do presentations, and in this case, the guy, I guess this is the guy that's gonna talk, he's gonna talk about Zillow and what it's all about. So it starts at 3 and goes to 4:30, the presentation, and then right after that, there's like just a little sort of, what would you say,
Mixer, yeah.
mixer type happy hour thing. And right here, it says $10 includes happy hour, but if you go and register and use the Trinity title code, it's reduced down to $5. And so it'll automatically, if you do it through our website, it'll automatically put the code in there, and then you get the discounted amount. But I think it's going to be really interesting, and they're looking to have about 200 people is what they're saying. And
yeah, last year it was really interesting.
So that's it.
Thank you.
Thank you, ladies.
Now,